Breaking: the Prime Minister who promised strength and stability is now being called inept, indecisive, and a people-pleaser who isn't leading anything. Tonight, pressure on Keir Starmer is reaching a breaking point inside Downing Street, not from the opposition, but from his own party. And the question echoing through Westminster is no longer can he win, it's can he even lead. Behind the polished speeches and calm tone, insiders describe a government frozen by hesitation. A senior Labour aide revealed, he listens to everyone, then does nothing. That single sentence now defines the mood inside Number 10, uncertain, divided, and losing confidence fast. For a man once praised as a symbol of order after years of chaos, the image is beginning to crack. Starmer's rise to power was built on discipline, the quiet, methodical lawyer who promised to restore dignity to politics. But that same caution is now turning against him. In an era that rewards boldness, he's being accused of governing like a referee instead of a leader. As one frustrated MP put it, you can't unite Britain by sitting on the fence. Public patience is slipping. A new YouGov poll shows the Prime Minister's approval rating collapsing to its lowest point since taking office. Only 28% of voters believe he understands people like them, and when asked to describe him, the top responses were honest but weak, decent but dull, and the man who waits. In a media age driven by confidence, waiting too long is political suicide. Inside Labour, tension is rising. Cabinet ministers are growing restless. Policy teams complain of confusion. Housing reforms delayed, tax plans rewritten, announcements cancelled. One insider described the mood bluntly. Every week the agenda changes. Nobody knows what we're doing next. Deputy Leader Angela Rayner is said to be pushing for faster decisions and stronger messaging. Meanwhile, rivals like Rachel Reeves and Wes Streeting are quietly building their profiles. They've stayed loyal in public, but in private, the knives are being sharpened. Westminster has seen this movie before, and it never ends peacefully. Even Labour loyalists admit there's a storm brewing. The very people who fought to put Starmer in Number 10 now whisper that he's lost his edge. One longtime strategist told Sky News, he's a manager, not a leader. And Britain didn't vote for a manager. Across the aisle, the Conservatives smelled opportunity. Former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak mocked Starmer last week, saying Britain needs leadership, not hesitation. Tory backbenchers have begun calling him Captain Caution, and the nickname is sticking. Memes, headlines, and talk shows are all echoing the same phrase. Where is the leadership? But perhaps the most dangerous blows aren't coming from opponents, they're coming from allies. Editorials in traditionally Labour-friendly papers like The New Statesman now warned that Starmer risks becoming a caretaker before his time. Commentators describe him as a man governing without belief, delivering without direction, and leading without conviction. Each phrase lands like a hammer, not from tabloids, but from his own side of politics. Meanwhile, Britain's challenges are multiplying. Inflation remains high. Energy costs are squeezing families. And key infrastructure projects have stalled in bureaucratic limbo. Civil servants privately admit that decisions take weeks, sometimes months, because the Prime Minister insists on revising every word himself. The result is paralysis, disguised as precision. The nation is moving, but its leader is standing still. International partners have noticed too. European diplomats have voiced frustration, saying communication from London is vague and delayed. Foreign investors, once enthusiastic, now question whether Labour's vision for economic renewal has any substance left. The fear is simple, that Britain has traded chaos for caution, but not yet found leadership. Still, Starmer insists all is fine. In a press briefing last week, he dismissed talk of rebellion as Westminster noise. He said, "We're focused on delivery, not drama." But the irony is unavoidable because right now, the drama is becoming impossible to ignore. Labour's internal unity is fracturing, public trust is fading, and the government's direction looks uncertain at best. Political historians warn that once the perception of weakness sets in, recovery becomes almost impossible. From Theresa May to Gordon Brown, the pattern is the same: hesitation, isolation, collapse. And for Keir Starmer, that pattern may already be repeating. What began as a slow drip of criticism is now a flood. Insiders speak of contingency plans, potential replacements, and quiet conversations about what happens next. Some in Westminster believe Starmer can still turn it around if he acts fast. They say he must show visible conviction, take decisive stands, and prove he's not afraid to risk political capital. But others believe it's already too late. Once your own team starts looking for the next leader, it's only a matter of time before the cameras do too. For the public, the disappointment runs deeper than politics. Many Britons hoped for transformation, lower costs, cleaner government, a sense of direction. Instead, they see another leader trapped by hesitation, afraid to offend, afraid to decide. And in politics, fear is fatal. Tonight, the image of calm control that once defined Keir Starmer is fading fast. His silence is now being mistaken for surrender, his caution for weakness. If he cannot change that perception, and soon history may remember him not as the man who rebuilt Labour, but as the leader who froze while the country moved on. Because in Westminster, leadership isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about standing for something, even when it costs you everything. And the longer Starmer waits to decide what that something is, the closer he gets to being wiped out by his own inaction. This is not just a political challenge, it's a test of character, and it's one he can no longer postpone. For now, the Prime Minister remains in office, but as the whispers turn into warnings, and the warnings turn into headlines, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Britain's patience is running out, and so is his time.